Welcome to the new year. Well, it's New Year, of course, which means we've got some new and exciting things to look forward to in the year in terms of movies. But for now, I'm going to talk about the best and worst films of 2011. I've compiled, and I've done this really well in true detail, a list of some of the best, worst films I've seen in this year. Before I go any further with my list, let me just say a couple of things before. The films I have not included in this list are the films that have been nominated for an Oscar in 2011. So films like The King's Speech, films like all those films like Black Swan and that lot that have been nominated for Oscars are not included in my list because technically those films were released around 2010 and that lot, so they don't count, unfortunately. Nor does the film in my collection, in the worst collection. Now, this film may have been on the top of Mark Kermode's list for the worst film, but this film is so awfully and so bad that I'm not going to even mention its name. New Year's Eve. This film is completely rubbish, that it does not even deserve a breath of New Year's Eve. And a film like that bad and that stupid doesn't even deserve to be on anyone's list. So, there you go. Now, first of all, my worst films of 2011. The films that I've not included, first of all, I'll talk to you about, are the films like Paul. Now, a few people have said that Paul's really bad. Some people say it's completely crap. I saw it and it is bad, but it's not as bad as people say it is. Other films that are not included in my list of worst films are films like are films which also include there are films I've thought about very carefully, but I forgot to mention them. In between movie, it was very good, but it was alright. But it was sort of like, it's funny, but But this is my worst films list. This is the films that I have included that I'll mention to you now. It's the top 5 worst films of 2011. In 5th place, and for very personal reasons, The Lion King in 3D. Now, before we begin, as I said before, The Lion King film itself is a fantastic Disney film. It's one of the best films Disney have ever made. It's got one of the best soundtracks Elton John's ever made. And it's got one of the best death scenes ever. However, when you're making it, putting it in 3D does not make it even better. It's like those wankers that colorised Casablanca. Believe you me, that is heartbreaking to the fullest. And for me, that goes in at number 5, The Lion King 3D. At 4th place, and people are going to be mad at me, Anotherhood. It's very, 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 very stupid humour. This is from the films like Adulthood and Kid Adulthood, and they've all made it into a spoof. And now the British are doing it now, and it was a bit alright. It was a bit funny when you see it at the start, but then when you see it at home, you just realise, what was I laughing at? And that's number 4. At 3rd place, Transformers 3. Now, again, Michael Bay really, really does piss off everyone, including me and a few other critics. And this time he's made no exception, but making Transformers 3. It's still shit. It was shit in 3D, and it's always going to be shit in 2D, and it's going to be shit. And I don't care if I get a few people on my blog say, oh, Transformers is a great film. If you have the guts to admit that Transformers 3 was a great film, you need to look yourself in the mirror and think and say that into your face. And then you might think, Oh my god, I sound like a complete retard. Transformers 3 at number 3. Now we're into the top 2, and this was a difficult situation because I didn't know what to put there. But then I realised what deserved it. So at number 2, The Hangover Part 2, or The Hangover 2, or whatever you call it. When I saw The Hangover 1, I liked it. I genuinely laughed at Hangover 1. I thought it was a very funny film. I mean, a few people didn't enjoy the first one, but I quite enjoyed it, and it was a really funny film. And then The Hangover 2. It's exactly the same as The Hangover 1. And I don't mean like all the jokes are exactly the same. Every bit is exactly the fucking same. The jokes are the same, the laughs are the same, the injuries are the same, everything is the fucking same. And that doesn't make it funny. If you're gonna make a funny film into a sequel, make some new jokes up. And as for the fact that loads of people saw it, God, how dumb are they? And the fact is though, some people said about, oh, that film's, oh, you're complaining about that because it's meant to be different, and that is completely crap. And then I look at The Hangover 1 again, and then I think to myself, is that good actually in the first place? So The Hangover 2 is my second worst film of 2011. Now finally, number 1. Now people have said New Year's Eve was number 1, which I've not included. Other people have said this and that, but this is my worst film of 2011. Cars 2. Pixar have really let themselves down. They have let the family down, they've let the movie industry down, they've let me down, and they've let themselves down. It is by far the worst Pixar film I have ever seen in all my life. And it doesn't make sense, the stories don't make sense, the film doesn't make sense, the acting's crap, the voiceover's shit, the animation's useless, and as for the people that made it, what the fuck were you smoking, drinking, and doing at the time when you made Cars 2? You are by some way the biggest spaz in film history. And the creator of Pixar, if you are watching this, and you are a pretty smart guy, do yourselves a favour, get their heads, smack them in the face, find the guy who made Cars 2, shoot him in the fucking balls, find the other person who agreed with Cars 2, shoot him or her in the fucking balls or vagina, and find the people that like Cars 2 and shoot them as well. It is by far away the worst film of 2011. That was a downer to the year, but now I'm going to raise the year up a bit with the best films of 2011. Now before that, I'm going to tell you the films that I haven't included in my collection. First of all, there are other films like Harry Potter and The Deathly Hallows Part 2. Fantastic film, don't get me wrong, it's a great film. It's a great film, but it didn't quite make it. I'm not saying it's shit. It's very good, but my films were a bit better than that. In the same way as Barcelona are a bit better than Real Madrid. And the other one I'm not including is Bridesmaid, which I've seen bits of and I quite enjoy. Okay, but didn't get into the top 5. So very sorry ladies, but you know, it's my collection. And one quick thing to say, doesn't matter what you think because I'm right and you're wrong. And if you don't like it, fuck off. At 5th place in my best film, Drive. What can I say? Wonderful film, wonderfully directed, wonderfully acted by Ryan Gosling, met an incredible film about a guy, and the fact that he's got this idea that he's blanked out in the world and he's driving his car and he's doing all sorts of shit. I'm really making the film sound shit to me, but it was a wonderful film, and it's the 5th best film of 2011. It's Drive. At the 4th place, and this got a lot of views actually on my YouTube account. In fact, I think I got over 300 views for this. I'm going to say it very slowly because I think I said it before in college and a few people have. So here we go. In the 4th place is Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. It's, in my opinion, a really, really good film. I mean, I was with a few people and I've got one person who was next to me who really doesn't like films a lot, and he absolutely enjoyed it. I think Gary Oldman should win an Oscar for this film. There's no questions and doubts about that. I think it's a beautifully constructed film, and people that are bored by it, shame on you. Shame on you for not having a sense of intelligence in your life. It's a fantastic film. It's a film which was so incredibly done really well. It's about the psychological aspects of spying. It's about the idea that there's a spy in there, that anyone could be the spy in there, and it's a really good film. In at number 4 is Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. In 3rd place, and this is a big high up. This is going to high up my entry, and people might be disagreeing about this film, but I thought this is a really good film. In 3rd place, sorry, Attack the Block. Attack the Block, in my personal opinion, is this was my funniest film of 2011. I absolutely laughed at it. I think it's a funny film. I think Joe Cornish, who, after my thing on about Tintin, I apologised to you very, very humbly and deeply for my comments, because I didn't know who you were until I heard that you directed that film. And it was a really good film. It's a really funny film, and I don't know why many people aren't talking about this film as much as anyone else is. It's such a really good film, and it's, for me, the funniest film of 2011 and the 3rd best film of 2011. In at number 3, Attack the Block. Now this was even difficulter because I struggled with this top 2, but this is my top. This was it. In 2nd place, and it came up very late in the film. I think I saw it in around December time or something like that. In 2nd place is Hugo in 3D. This was the first film which made me think 3D did work in that film, and I don't know why it did, because, you know, I've never been a huge big 3D fan. I've always slated 3D a lot, and then it questioned my judgment. But I thought the film itself was beautifully done well. I thought Martin Scorsese, head and shoulders down, made one of the best films, the best family film of 2011. I think the whole construct of the film was beautifully done, and for me it's my 2nd best film of 2011, which was Hugo in 3D. But the winner of my best film, the best film I've seen in 2011, the film which made sorry, the film which made me jumping in joy, fall in love with the film, and just made me so happy and incredibly emotional. Well, the best film of 2011 is Senna. What can I say? Best documentary of the year, best film of the year, best soundtrack of the year, best everything really. It's just it's a completely wonderful film about one of the best Formula 1 driver of all time. A film which just shows you the fact that the whole passion of speed and his pressure for him to be the best at it, to be the fastest, to be the best, and to be the one that is the one. And it really is for me the greatest film of 2011, the best in 2011, and it's a shame it's not being nominated for Best Documentary at the Oscars. Could have done their long list, and Senna and not be included. Very, very disappointing. But you know what? Fuck you, Academy. Fuck you, the Golden Globes, and fuck you to anyone that doesn't like it, including Alan Prost. No, I'm kidding. You probably do like it, Alan. It's the best film, and if I had an award ceremony myself, that would not just win Best Documentary, but maybe Best Film. And that, for me, is the reason why Senna is the best film of 2011. And thanks very much for watching.